So these three football players, what are their names? 1, Ryan Montgomery. 2, Matt Zollers. 3, of course, the new 2025 reclass, Julian Lewis. Those are the three names. Those are the ones that you're focused on. Those are the ones that you have kind of pin circled, okay? Circled with pin in terms of who you want and who you're going to recruit. I think it's important that we go through each of these individuals one at a time because that's what they are. They're being lumped into one recruiting board, but they are three very, very different football players, and I think you'll notice that by the tape. We're going to watch Ryan Montgomery first, the kid out of Ohio. He is 6'4", 210-ish pounds. You're going to notice off this tape, everything is out of empty. His football team transitioned into a new offense this last offseason, and they threw it probably 50 times a game, and they threw it all 50 times out of empty, okay? So he's back there just deciphering a full-on air raid, and he's a big ripper. All right, this tonight is big fundamental. Okay, this is going to be our comparison for Ryan Montgomery. You're going to see this is Tim Duncan. Okay, nothing he does is super flashy. Nothing he does is wow. There's not a lot of wow to this. Man, it's just big fundamental. He's a big physical kid, and because of the way the system looks, I actually had to go outside of the huddle to make my full evaluation of this individual because you're going to see there's a lot of running to grass in this, 5-wide system that he's running. And there's not a lot of like, hey, is this applicable? Is he going to do this to the next level? What was the Under Armour 50 under 50, 7-on-7 film that I found where you actually see, okay, this guy is a very clean decision maker. This guy's very, very vanilla is the wrong term, but I know what I'm going to get if I sign Ryan Montgomery. If I sign Ryan Montgomery, I am getting a 6'4", 210-pound decision maker who is very accurate with the football. Maybe doesn't have the biggest arm in the world, but gets the job done. You know who I have if I have Ryan Montgomery? I have about 90 to 95% of Carson Beck. That's what I think. So let's go watch the tape. We got him up first?
Yes, we do.
All right, so here's what you're going to see. Big fundamental. All right, big kid. Very, I wouldn't say physical in nature, but just has the frame and is very, very clean cut and dry. All right. Very professional in his approach too. You talk to him, he sounds like a 20, 25-year-old. A 24, 25-year-old. Okay. Here you see, again, I don't know how applicable this is. I know teams do this. I think they got a switch wheel with a post right here. Yep, they got a wheel right here from 2 with a post right here from number 1. And he throws it right on the face of that kid. You're going to see intermediate throws 20 to 30 yards downfield on almost every single one of these clips like this right here. Great touch on the ball, great identification. Hey, we got the winner in the one-on-one right here. Safety rotating over to the right. But this is what these empty systems do. I mean, look, we got guys running to grass everywhere. We got some grass throw here, some grass throw here. We got the dig on the backside and a go ball here. There's a lot of options for us, and he rips that out route right there on the bottom of your screen. Everything, and I mean everything, out of the empty right here. That's a big boy throw from the right hash over to the left on a speed out, okay? But you see the frame. You see, hey, not a lot of flash or pizzazz. We watch a lot of kids. Hey, we're going to watch 2 of them coming up that do a whole lot of fun stuff, okay? Do a lot of stuff with their lower half. They do a lot of stuff with their arm angles. They do a lot of stuff with their feet, okay? Ryan Montgomery is chicken and rice. That is what we got going on. We got chicken and rice right here, the preferred diet of our boy Christian Kirby.
Amen.
You a white rice or a brown rice guy, Kirby?
White rice.
Yeah, we don't do none of them rich shit. We don't do none of that.
I don't have a preference. It just tastes better to me.
Bang.
Yes.
All right, so there we go. We got Ryan Montgomery right here. I think a very, very, very solid. All right, if you're looking into, hey, I know what I'm going to get. I'm going to get a serviceable starter, maybe a 2-year starter, 3-year starter. This is Carson Beck. This is Kyle Trask.
Ooh,
all right, you hear me? Kyle Trask,
throw.
another good little comp right here for me. You like this play?
Rolling to the left, throws a Dover over there.
Oh, yeah. We're gonna see some stuff here in a second. We're going to see some stuff in here in a second.
What an interesting logo.
Checking out logos.
Just fat F.
Hey, throws a lot of touch, too. A lot of touch, anticipation, layers the football really, really well. Okay? A little bit of recruiting intel here for you guys. This one, it sounds to me, guys, that this is going to be our first one off the board. With these 3 names, it sounds like Ryan is the one closest and most ready to make a decision. Okay, it sounds to me like the decision is going to be between Georgia, South Carolina, and Florida. Now here becomes the question. Okay, if this is going to be the first name to pop, all right, where on that kind of list would he ultimately rank? And your question, and the reason for asking that question is this right here, right? Are we going to take the commitment from Ryan Montgomery and potentially risk the idea that we might be able to sign another one of these quarterbacks that we're going to look at, right? Does taking the commitment from this kid early deter the other ones? Because I do believe if everything happened in a vacuum, if Ryan Montgomery were the only quarterback available in 2025, he'd end up at Georgia. I think that would be the case over South Carolina and over Florida. I don't know if he's going to be greenlit in the middle of, where are we at, February, okay, of this class and of this cycle. If he wants to be a Georgia commit, or if Georgia and him are going to be paired together, I think it's going to have to be more of in a competitive time window where the rest of these guys might be coming down the pike as well.
I think it's kind of a similar conversation that you could have had early on when Ryan Puglisi committed to Georgia. Of obviously, you would like to have it. Puglisi's talented, and he's a guy that you would obviously want in your quarterback room. But there's some other names in this class remaining that maybe, and it didn't end up hindering you, or at least it didn't until the very end.
Here's where I will push back on this. If Georgia thinks you're good enough, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They took the Puglisi commitment knowing, I don't care. If this pushes somebody else out or if this makes us less attractive, we don't care because we're taking that kid anyways. We think that kid is one of those ones, right? Which is why they took the commitment from Puglisi as early as they did in the cycle. Because it wasn't about, if it does deter someone else, good. Like, that's the way they thought about that. I don't know if they feel that way about this one. You know what I mean? Which means he's probably not 1 or 2 on this board.
Yeah.
In fact, I have him 3. Okay, of the guys we're going to look at tonight, that's as bad as it gets. And by the way, I just told you, that's 2-year at least serviceable starter in this conference. That kid will play in this conference. He's going to play really well in this conference. All right, let's talk about the other 2. I want to watch this Zollers tape first. And guys, this Matt Zollers kid from Philly, violent. Violent. That's the only word that I could come up with. Every time I watch him do something, I'm like, God dang, bro, you are trying to kill people. You are trying to take people's soul out here playing the game of football. He has some absolute violence to his game. Showed a 60-yard chooch on the run that we're going to watch. All right, it's a howitzer on this kid as well. The deep ball has a ton of touch. I think it's important to note these things. When we watch deep balls on this network, we want the nose down. What do I mean by that? All right, we want that sucker coming downhill. We want the arc to go up steep. We want it to come down steep. And we want it to travel a goddamn 3/4 of a football field. All right, with the nose down. I don't care how far you can throw it on a line. I care how far we can throw it with touch and getting that nose to come back down. Violent. Let's watch this Zollers tape. All right, this kid's a baller. Not that the last kid wasn't. I'm going to go ahead. I like me some Matt Zollers tape. We're just going to let it run, and I'm going to let y'all holler at this one. Yeah. He got some juice about him, too.
Yeah.
He got some juice about him now.
How tall is he?
6'3.5". 6'3.5", about 205 on this guy. I love this one. Look at him rolling right, taking a shot. Ooh. This is a jump throw, dude. This is an absolute jump throw. All right, he is rolling to his right. He has pressure in his face, okay? That edge defender is hitting him right now. He jumps in the air and gets lit up off the hip and throws a perfect runner. All right, same thing here. Rolling up into the pocket, stepping through the smoke, on the run, 50-yard bomb, nose down. This ball is violent. This is what I'm talking about. God dang, he looked like he was trying to throw 150 mile an hour right there.
It looks like an outfielder trying to throw someone out at home.
You god dang right, and I love it. I love seeing a dude be this violent. Look at that ball. That ball traveled about 50 air yards. The one previous before that was about 62, okay, there from Zollers. All right, this is that nose down I'm talking about. Watch that ball come, pew. All right, when we see wide receivers doing this one, that's what we want. We want that nose down. Oh, make a little play. I love that we get a little combination of an athlete with a ripper, right? That's what we're getting right now, and we need that in the modern game of college football. I don't need you to be Lamar Jackson, but I can't have you be Peyton Manning in the mid 2000s. I can't have you standing in
What is
this one right here.
40 time?
Yeah, this one what?
What is 3's 40 time?
Oh, three's a guy.
Yeah.
Three is definitely a guy. But I think we both love this right here. people at the feet. Oh no, that's the next one.
Yeah.
People at the feet of his platform on the next one, and he finds a way to get his feet back out of the ground and get that ball back up. That right there.
I don't know what
is
cover
nuts.
2 safety's doing there, but
Yeah, I mean, a lot of split safety looks here for these guys. They've got to kind of this ball should be picked off in college. Didn't necessarily love that one, but this ball right here, dude. We see all these like, hey, look at him throw some touch, and then we see this speed out right here. Look at this ball. This ball's pissed on, son. All right, 3's a guy.
I was going to say I'm equally as impressed.
Hey,
with
how about
3.
this one? Rolling back right, rolling to our right, flicking it across our chest to the left on this next clip. Check this out in the goal line situation. Watch this. Rolling right, catching number 1, going back the other way, throwing across his body. Okay, we don't like to do that on the next level. That ball is pissed on.
Wow.
My God, he threw that so hard. His whole body into this, man. Rolling back left. Look at him. He's going to pedal backwards, and then he just goes, violent. Absolute violence in his game. Now, the next guy that we're going to watch, complete opposite. Okay, the next guy is smooth operator. You know what I mean? Next guy just looks like he walks to a different, on beat to everything. Just got great steez about him. That's a dot. Yeah, I like the Zollers kid a lot, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Does he throw over the middle a lot, any?
We'll have to see. I mean,
when you're that accurate and you have
Yeah.
a guy who can run that fast, you don't really need to. But
that ball's down the middle of the field, but I mean, he's throwing it 40 yards on the run
yeah.
and getting the legs involved here.
Oh.
I think the legs are serviceable. I wouldn't be out here designing a whole offense off the
Stetson
legs.
Bennedy?
Yeah.
Huh?
Stetson Bennedy?
Yeah. I mean, but at 6'3.5". You know what I mean? Like, that's a
that's-
different breed. That's a different sized human.
I'm just doing the comp of like,
Yeah, athleticism.
you can get away from a sack,
Yeah.
might not want to let him run it 12 times a game.
Yeah. Me like you.
Yeah.
Me like you.
Very
I
nice.
like that too.
Violent. I will always favor the kid that I know that can do more because there's just more to work with, right? And I think that discussion right there between Montgomery and Zollers is very obvious. One does a little bit more.
Plus, you can just kind of feel it on tape that when he goes out on the football field, like he's looking to kill folks. Like he's out there to take care of his business and do it in a very violent manner, and that's fun to watch. I mean, it's enjoyable, it's entertaining.
All right, this next guy. This next guy would be quarterback 1 on the board. I think him and Zollers are pretty, I'm not going to say evenly talented. I think they're both a take at the University of Georgia. I would take both of them. But you recruit the hell out of Julian Lewis because of who he is, where he is, and what he's been. Julian Lewis has been a name and a name to have and a name to need for 5 years now. It seems like 3 years now since I've been doing this, basically. Everybody's okay, the state of Georgia has the next one that everybody's going to be after. And guess what? He lived up to be it. Very rarely, I've talked about this the last time I spoke about Julian, very rarely do we have something billed to be this. And by God, he winds up being that and more. All right, and this is a testament to everything he does from a working standpoint. It's a testament to who he is from a personal standpoint and all that good stuff. Because when you're told the world is yours at 13, to actually be there to capitalize on the opportunities when you're 17 is nothing short of a miracle. Okay, it's nothing short of a miracle, especially the way this guy has developed. He plays with an extreme amount of feel, okay, and skill. I said both of those wrong. Feel and skill. I said Phil and skill.
I think you forgot to mute your lav mic.
That's fine. He's got a tremendous amount of feel, okay, at the quarterback position. And despite the fact that this kid is younger than the rest, all right, and he is reclassed, he has played and talked and seen more high-level football than the other two. I wouldn't say combined, but definitely more than the other two. Okay, he is the most polished and most ready of all the 3 that we're going to watch tonight, and he would be my number 1 quarterback on the board because of all of the things that we just talked about and the fact that he's deadly accurate. He makes great decisions, and he's deadly accurate, and he is Julian Lewis. I wonder what happens.
I don't know.
Because I've done entire shows with both of them turned on, and nothing ever happens.
The hamster stops
that's
running.
That's the Zollers tape, right?
Yes.
This is the sophomore tape.
Yes.
All right. So here's the thing about Julian. Everything that Julian does is exactly how he's coached to do it. You tell this kid to do something, you coach him up to do it, he's going to do it. That right there, pretty invaluable skill set, in my opinion. All right, and what you're going to see is as you watch him, as he goes through these plays, hey, it's like, ooh, we're gonna avoid the conflict. We're going to get our feet back in the ground. We're going to rip the ball, 2 hands on the ball. All right, we're going to roll right. We're going to make sure our fundamentals are perfect as we do so. Everything this kid does is technically, fundamentally, mentally sound. Everything that he does. Oh, and by the way, plays for a guy by the name of Joey King, who's out here running, I don't even know what you would call this concept, but basically what he gets right here is, what do they fake, a speed out? Oh, no. They fake a hitch right here, and then they roll him on a wheel.
Wait, rewind that back?
It's number 2 running a hitch, and then he turns and spins out on a wheel.
Yeah, but where's number
predetermined.
Okay, I'm tripping.
Okay, so this guy, that's Caleb Odom. He runs the backline dig, which is a pretty common red zone concept. And then this guy runs a little 5-yard hitch and then spins out, and he's basically running now a wheel to the pylon. Look at this throw.
I saw 2 shadow and thought they were in trips for a minute. I was like, what the hell?
I mean, it kind of in a bunch. It looked like one.
Yeah.
All right, here we
Camera
go.
angles.
All right, now we're going to rip one. That's from the 40 to the 5. So that's a 55-yard throw. Okay. Look at the pocket movement. Hey, the ball's great, Curb, but how about knowing?
Yeah, knowing where your pocket is.
How about knowing that our left tackle's getting spun like a top? Look at that. Okay, and then we're going to climb, and we're hitting this right back over here. That's pretty good stuff right there.
And having the wherewithal to not give up on the play and tuck and run immediately.
Correct.
I mean, he had grass, but...
Same thing here, climbing through the pocket and then flicking back to his left. Now, what's up?
This is a bad comp because I feel like it means unathleticism, but it looks like Tom Brady. The way Tom Brady could navigate a pocket.
I'm a Joe Burrow comp here.
Okay.
And it's the only kid I've ever given it to. Because Burrow's comp's a whole lot about intangible stuff. It's a whole lot about stuff. Oh, he just plays the quarterback position the right way. He's got this level of coolness about him. I watched Julian against Westlake for the region, right? They're backed up inside their own 5. Okay, so they're hard counting, trying to get people to jump off sides, and Westlake's just talking all kind of shit, all kind of shit. And we got it on the microphones where Julian's like looking, he does the hard count, he's looking to the sideline, getting a new play, and they're chirping him. And all he says was, "Yeah, y'all did good, but watch this." And then he gets back on the line, flips the run, okay, calls the run to the right side where they got the hats counted, all right, and they get out of their own end. And what I thought of was the Cam Newton clip where
You've been watching
film, huh? Watch this. Yeah. Just cool, man. Just everything he does is very, very cool.
The funniest thing, irrelevant, but the funniest thing about that Cam Newton clip is the wheel route was still open.
Yeah.
Like,
just even the footwork right here. Look at him click through his reads. Watch how his feet are tied to his eyes on this play action fake. Look at that. Into the back, flips his feet right back around, okay, gets him back into the ground solidly, and then rips that football. He just caught that snap one-handed, by the way. Okay?
You what?
Watch him. Zoom in on him. Okay, on this next snap. You don't have to zoom in, actually. You got it close enough right here. He caught that ball
okay.
on the snap. Okay, just nice and smooth, and then throws a dart, okay, out there on the edge. A tremendous processor. Like, how important is that? I mean, ooh. Yeah, buddy. That is avoiding pressure to our face. That is, instead of, continuing to run past the point right there, getting back up inside, and then still throwing the corner route on time. That's nuts. That's what I mean. Oh, that's a quick flick. Ball. Oh, I love the ball placement there. Threw it up, right, where my tight end can go get it. Okay, we're on the sideline here.
That's reminiscent of...
that's our boy JC right there.
That looks a lot like that George Pickens touchdown in the Peach Bowl.
That's a rip. Always on time. Always on time. Never playing outside. Never playing outside the system. Never has to. Yeah. Deadly accurate. I don't know what his completion rate is here. There you see the athleticism. That's against Langston Hughes. There's a bunch of dudes on that field right there. The accuracy, this is what I love about Julian. This is why I would invest everything I could into him. Everything about his game is a product of his work. Everything. All the decision-making processes are there because, well, he studies a shitload of football. He's deadly accurate, well, because he throws a ton of footballs, okay? He always has. That ball's thrown before the kid gets even out of the break, okay? I'm going to try to pause this when he lets this ball go, and you'll see just how far ahead of it he threw. Caught it one-handed again, by the way. All right, we're breaking our hands right now, okay? This corner route is, 4 yards from the 40? I think is when he breaks this out here at the tight end position. Yep, look at that. Ball's way out. It's been out. It's been out of his hands for a half a second, 2 seconds at this point. Boom. All right, those are things that we can't teach kids to do. I can sit here, I can evaluate height, weight, speed, the ability to throw the football. All right, but what I can't evaluate every single time unless I know for a fact is the kid's processing ability. And that kid is processing football at I'd say year 3 in college level right now because they care about it. They care about it, they care about it, they care about it. Now, Derek Dodd in the chat asked a relatively reasonable question. Has he grown at all? How big is he going to get, right? I think that's the only question about Julian. And I don't think it's necessarily a reasonable question because at this point in the game of football, I'm not saying he's this because I think he's obviously bigger than this, but we just watched Bryce Young be the first overall draft pick in the NFL draft. I think we're past the days of, is he big enough? No, is he good enough? And the answer is yes, he's damn sure good enough.
I mean, Drew Brees, Russell Wilson, Bryce Young, Baker Mayfield. There's been a litany of guys. To me, the
threshold, I would get nervous under 6 foot, under 185 pounds. If we're under those two things, which Bryce Young is, I'm on the record. I had concerns about Bryce. I thought it was hilarious that everybody's like, this guy doesn't get hit. Bitch, what game you been watching? Bryce Young gets lit up, okay? Didn't see that one. Didn't understand it. Knew he was going to look very, very, very small. He's not this. No. Julian's 6 foot and a half. All right, he's 195 pounds already, and he's big enough. So
yeah,
I'm good there.
He's not physically imposing, but he doesn't need to be.
Exactly.
You don't need to be physically imposing anymore.
No, you don't.
At the quarterback position.
Nope.
And, I mean, if you make all the right decisions and you make all the throws.
There's your physical imposition.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right? So we're good there. Oh, and by the way, and not that you have to do this, but they make the money doing it, not the guy on YouTube. Every great quarterback evaluator ever in the game of football right now wants his kid. I mean, all of them, from Kirby to Lincoln. All the great football minds right now are heavily, heavily invested in landing Julian Lewis. So there's that. And by the way,